Congressional Cafe, open for business. Pork's on the menu again, but you still have to look closely to find how they're spending your money. CNN's Drew Griffin is keeping them honest.
We're on a treasure hunt, looking for your money. Let's start with $2 million, your tax dollars, right here. Listen.
I think I hear a plane.
This is the tiny airport in tiny and remote Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Pull up a chair, grab a magazine, a newspaper, because it's going to take a while to show you how your federal tax dollars were spent here.
It's a pretty slow day today, so if we'd known you're coming, I'm sure we'd have been busier.
We'll get back to how Congress spent your money in Rice Lake in a moment. Meantime, here are more ways Congress has secretly spent your money. Chances are you weren't a guest at the historic Biltmore Hotel in Coral Gables, Florida last summer, but taxpayers spent $96,000 to help renovate it. Skiing more your style? You paid $250,000 last year to renovate a ski lift. In our treasure hunt, it was tricky to find that one. The money came out of last year's massive transportation bill, no mention of skiing. Instead,
for the construction of the Alyeska Roundhouse in Girdwood, Alaska, $250,000.
In Congress, such treasure is called an earmark.
Again, no name, and oftentimes these earmarks are certainly a bit vague.
Annie Patnaud watches Congress for a conservative economic watchdog group. She found 2 earmarks for the Alyeska Roundhouse, a total of $500,000 for the top of a ski lift. Tim Phillips is president of the watchdog group.
I mean, imagine this. You've got a blank credit card that's the people's money, and you have the ability to spend that money in complete secrecy without ever having to be accountable for that. No wonder we're having abuses and waste and fraud and mismanagement. It's a recipe for it.
That recipe for pork was supposed to change this year. The new open, Democratic Party-controlled Congress promised the earmark process would no longer be secret. All earmark requests would be made public with plenty of time for debate. But Dave Ovey, the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee and one of those Democrats bragging about the changes, has decided that earmarks, those generous gifts of your money, will be inserted into bills only after the bill has cleared the House floor. In other words, earmarks will still be done in secret. No public debate. There was supposed to be some kind of change.
Well, they lied to the American public. It was a game.
Senator Coburn says it's the same over on the Senate side. CNN obtained this email written in February from the Senate Appropriations Committee, asking senators to submit all requests for earmarks by April 13th. So the earmark requests for this year, and there have been thousands in the past, have already been filed. But not even other members of Congress can find out who asked for how much and for what.
No, they are published, and they're not out there. I couldn't find them if I wanted to.
If you're a member of Congress and you're asking for tax dollars for a project, the least you can do is have the, let's say the political courage to put it up on your website in advance and to disclose it well before any vote takes place.
Sounds reasonable, but not to the senator who gets final say on spending. Appropriations Chairman Robert Byrd. In an email to CNN, the senator's staff told us allowing the public to actually see earmark requests in advance isn't a good idea. Apparently the public can't be trusted with that information. If all earmark requests are made public, the email says, this would almost certainly lead to an increase in requests, as members are pressured from home to compete for more projects.
This is an omnibus appropriations bill.
This behemoth of a bill is chock full of one-line requests for your tax dollars. We followed the clues back to where we started this treasure hunt.
So this is the Rice Lake Airport I asked you about.
Sure. Look for it on there.
And this is on page 1,384. And it's somewhere in this fine print. I'm taking it.
Look for it.
Right down here.
Right.
So Rice Lake Regional Airport, Carlsfield, Wisconsin, various improvements, $2 million.
$2 million in federal funds without debate. Back at Rice Lake, Wisconsin, we sat at the end of the runway and waited. 4 hours. In all that time, we counted one corporate jet, 1 twin-engine plane and 5 single-engine planes. A total of 7 aircraft in 4 hours. On a good day, we're told, 34 planes in and out, but no commercial flights. But this airport is vital for corporate executives who like to visit Rice Lake's manufacturing plants, but apparently don't like to stay the night.
Before we did the expansion on the runway, they couldn't land here. They had to drive an hour and a half to get to their plant because our airport wasn't large enough for that.
And which U.S. congressman decided extending a runway for a few corporate jets was worth your money? Wisconsin Democrat David Obey, the very same person now in charge of appropriations and earmarks. He said in a statement Wisconsin doesn't get its fair share. My only apology, he wrote, is that I can't do more for Wisconsin. In the next few months, in what Congressman Obey says is the most open earmark process ever, the bills will be drafted, the earmarks added. But only then, just before those bills are passed, will the public learn where the treasure is buried.